Hello, everyone. So let's start with the introduction of the iOS programming. So this is the first intro video on my channel. So today I am going to start a channel related to the iOS programming. So on this channel, we will learn a lot of about the iOS. So first question is, what is the iOS programming? Why need why we need this? So iOS programming basically used for developing the applications for the iPhone device. So I think everyone is already aware about the iPhone. So iPhone have two types of device. First one is the iPhone and second one is the iPad. So we can develop the application for both iPhone, iPad. Even we can also develop application for the Mac application. So like you use a lot of useful application like keynotes, Siri. A lot of useful application is already developed by the Apple for our use. So we frequently use on the Mac machine. So similar kind of application we can also develop on our end for the iPhone device. And good thing that by using the Apple developer account, we can even uh, release or publish our application in the App Store. So all other end user can use your application and provide their valuable feedback. Okay, so first question is how we can develop the iOS application. It is a good thing we can develop, but what are the system and configuration and resources required to start our iOS programming? So for iOS program, you have required a Mac machine, like Mac Pro and Air. You can use anyone for your convenience. But I will suggest if you want to develop the application, so your system configuration at least 8 GB RAM and 250 GB SSD. So then you will not face any lacking issue or any slow system kind of issue during your development. So it will good. And recently Apple even launched the Mac Pro application by using the uh, M1 and M2 chip. So that is quite fast. Even that Mac Pro is a better tool, better system for your development. Okay, so these are the tool part, and then we come for the testing device. So you can test your, suppose you develop your application by using the programming language. Then this question is come, how I can test out my application? Because my application is right now in the developer mode. So even I am not publish my applications in the App Store or iTunes. So how I can test? So the Apple provide the two way to test your application. Either use the simulator and second one is the physical device. So physical device I think you can easily understood like iPhone or the iPad you can use for testing your application. So for that you can easily connect your iPhone or iPad device by using a USB cable with your Mac machine. If you didn't have the USB cable, then it is fine because now the Apple tool is also provide a way to connect your physical device or testing device via Wi-Fi. So by if you have a proper Wi-Fi connection, so you can just connect your iPhone with the same Wi-Fi connection which is used in your Mac machine, and then after the successful pairing of your device, you can just run your application on the real device and debug your applications without any issue. So that is quite helpful. Because sometimes we face some issue with the USB cable, like my USB cable is not working. So you can purchase out because USB cable is quite fast. USB cable debugging is quite fast in comparison to the Wi-Fi. But this is also another way. Now we can talk about the simulator. What is the simulator? So actually, for developing the applications, I think the like all other platform like Android Studio and other tools, similar kind of Apple is also provide a simulator. So simulator is not a new thing. It is just a replica of the real device. So when you run the Xcode, so Xcode is the IDE on which we will do our coding in the Swift language. So in this IDE, they provide simulation of the device like the iPhone, iPad. You can change and customize as per your requirement. In another way, I can say that if you want to test your application on the iPad, so you can customize the simulator as the iPad and you can test your application easily. That is not an issue. And you can in the simulator there are a lot of variation, like you can test your application different type of device, because in the real scenario no one can purchase all the device, like your application will support and install on all iPhone device like iPhone X, uh, 7, 5s or 14 Pro, because every year Apple release a new iPhone, so it is very difficult to carry every iPhone. So in the simulator, you can uh, create a variation with the iPhone 10, 11 Pro, 14, any any device you can create, and you can test mostly functionality on this simulator. For the some specific hardware specific functionality, we will face some problem. We can't test on the simulator, like in-app purchase. We can't check like you are doing some, you are working on an application which are using the customization, a lot of customization, or using the Bluetooth and connectivity related things. So in that, or you are working on the push notification. Push notification, I think recently Apple also give a way, so we can also test the push notification on the simulator as well. So right now it is quite easy for everyone to develop the iOS application. So you just need to purchase the Mac machine and get ready to start with iOS programming. And don't worry, we will cover up each and every basic concept of the iOS programming in the further videos. So I will try to explain each and every point in a layman way, so everyone can understand. So that is my intention. But in every video and every tutorial, the my main goal is that I will show you the uh, starting phase of the code, and then step by step we will improve our code in a better way, as in a better way, so you can learn Swift programming or iOS programming in a better way and make your applications more responsive and look and feel is like awesome. Okay, so let me talk about the programming language. So basically, the Swift language we will use for developing the iOS application. So Swift is, I think, is not a new language, because everybody, mostly developer, is already know the Swift language. So before the Swift language, actually the iOS application is developed in the Objective-C language. That is also a good language and more stable. But Swift is also quite stable, because every year Apple arrange a WWDC. So uh, in and adding a lot of new features for us. So we need to keep updating our knowledge, and mm, on the regular basis there is a requirement to make your app compatible with the latest iOS version. So that is quite a challenge, but in a programming, if there is no challenge, then you will lose your interest. So definitely that is a good thing. So for learning the Swift language, so as this screenshot actually I take from the Apple documentation. So for learning the Swift language, I will suggest the first resource. You can go through the Apple documentation. It is very good. So they have provided a very good example, and each and every concept is explained in a very decent manner. So they provide even the converting option, so you can see some code in the Swift and the Swift UI and the Objective C. So there are a lot of variations. So that is good. And even Swift language, in Swift language, you can develop the applications for iOS, iPad, Mac OS, tvOS, watchOS. This is very good, and Swift language is quite light and fast. Okay, so this is the basic introduction. So now we will go through the Apple documentation uh, for some time. So for the Apple documentation, you just need to open the developer.apple.com. So this is the Apple document, app, Apple officially site of the Apple. So WWDC is also is coming soon. So get ready for June 5. This is the so okay. So for starting the iOS programming, you just need to open their official site and just open the develop. On this page, you will see all the tools we are going to use for our application. So let me give you some introduction about this thing. So Xcode basically is the ID we use. Like for .NET, you use the Visual Studio. For Android, you use the Android Studio. So similar kind of for iOS, we use Xcode. Xcode Cloud is related to the cloud. I think we will go in detail in the further videos. Swift already know. Swift UI is the new and latest framework for developing the iOS application. So it is a provide a declarative way to develop our applications. Test flight for the providing our application for the testing purpose, so we can easily release our application or share with a testing group or team. So like you can create a end user or internal tester group, and you can share your application easily. Or it is very helpful to make your applications bugs free before releasing or publishing in the App Store. So good. And this one is the documentation. Okay. So this is the Swift. So what's new in Swift? You can go through on this one also. This is the resources part. Okay. So for the developer tool, Apple also provide a playground. So playground is basically uh, not a complex or anything. It is helpful when you preparing your logic. Suppose you have to implement something, so you want to uh, do some brainstorming or creating some logic. So you can create your logic in the playground when you think it is quite stable. So you can just copy and paste and use in your real project. So it is quite handy. And if you are doing some R&D or creating a POC in the Swift language, so I will suggest use the Swift playground. It is definitely help you, because in the real project is the real project. If you implement and creating the logic, so you need to run the whole project. But in the Swift playground, it is quite fast. Even you didn't need to run the applications every time. It will run automatically, and on the line by line, you can check your code in a better way. We will see how we can utilize playground in a good way to learning our Swift language. So one more thing, I will suggest you the Swift language guide. So if you If this is the first time when you are learning the Swift language, so I highly recommend to go through this Swift programming language guideline. So this is like a ebook which is provided by the Apple. You can also find out their ebook on the iPad application, iPad also, so you can use. But in this, the Apple provide the very basic thing like the what is the string and character, what is the syntax we use, enumeration, structure and classes, what is the basic difference, property, method, inheritance, error handling, concurrency, and each and every topic is explained in a very good way. They are providing one example. So let me check this function. So this is the function, define and call function, label their argument and use their return value. So in this section, you will find out they explain the function like with a return value, with a void. So they provide each and every variation. So you can go through this one. This how we call our functions. What is the body of your function? What is the return type? Each and everything is explained in a very good way. So, so uh, I think it is enough to give the introduction of the Swift language, and definitely a lot of thing is coming in new videos. Okay, bye bye. Thank you very much for watching.